Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. Quarter number 3 is kicking off right now on this Thursday morning, the final day of April, believe it or not, because we turn the calendar and it's going to be May, although it's going to feel like fall weather as we open up the month of May. So get ready for the Justin Timberlake memes all over. It's going to be May. Do you know what that is? The song, what was it? It's going to be me or something like that, but everybody's like, going to be May. Whatever. It's probably between me and you. No, it is probably my generation, which is embarrassing. So, but anyways, thanks for hanging out with us here this morning. No outdoors chat with Jake, even with the opener of fishing season coming up on Saturday. I got a text from him at 3 a.m. He's going turkey hunting. So hopefully, save some for me. I haven't gone out yet there, dude. And this is like your second time, man. So if you got any questions for Jake, you'll have to save them for the next time we chat with him. But it is a good reminder that if you have any luck, whether it's fishing or turkey hunting, send those pictures on over to the Sports Talk Facebook page so that we can post those up for a little brag board action. All right. What is the most iconic number in all of sports? Kind of a takeover Thursday topic that we're throwing out there. So we talked about it for each sport. Some of the most iconic ones. I think we settle on 42 for baseball because of Jackie Robinson, right? I think that's probably the safe one. I shouldn't say safe, but the most. Yeah, that's the. Yeah, it's so hard when you talk about the best player of all time. 3, Babe Ruth, but then that's a difficult one because you go pitchers and that. 23. For basketball, 99, 97 for hockey. Football, I think we decided on 12 for quarterbacks and such. Now, if we did all across sports, is it still 2-3? I think it's still 2-3.
I do too.
I think 2-3 is the most iconic sports number of all time. Because, I don't know, I think when I think of a jersey or just a number, it's 2-3. It's as much as it bugs me to say that, I shouldn't say bugs me because now I used to wear 2-3-2, but I think that's the most iconic jersey number of all time. And it's still kind of weird to say that Jordan wore 45 for a hot minute, when he came back from his second retirement. But yeah, I think it's got to be 23. What would be the second one then, do you think? Of any sport?
Oh boy.
And maybe this is where we got to think about, okay, some of the players. Is it 12? Okay, list all the players who wore 12. A lot of them are probably going to be football, right?
Yeah.
Heck, even Jordan wore 12 for when his jersey got stolen for one game. Because I have the card. I think it's a Sam Vincent card. He's wearing a 12 jersey for crying out loud. So if you want to put that one on there, you could. Maybe it is 42 with Jackie. Is that the second most iconic one?
See, like, what I think of when I think of numbers is definitely 23, but it's hard because it depends on the sport almost. Mm-hmm. Like the NFL is so popular that it's like, well, you should think of an NFL number.
Yeah.
But I'd probably say baseball. I would say 42 over 12.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's a movie title, so right?
Yeah. Yeah, we're talking straight up jersey numbers, so not like stat-wise numbers or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 8. I think 8 for a little bit in the 90s because you had Aikman, you had Young. At least when I was growing up, those were 8. And then you throw a little Kobe in with 8 on there. I'm trying to think of some. And you would think like some of the numbers like 1 or something like would be popular. So don't wear 0 if you're in the NBA because you're going to tear your Achilles right now. That's kind of the trend here at this point. 3, Babe Ruth, Dale Earnhardt. If we go NASCAR, you throw that one in there. Yeah, I think there's a huge gap. 23, a little bit of gap, 42, and then bigger gap for what's next. But, yeah, I think 2-3's got to be the most iconic jersey number of all time. Got to be. And then you think about, I'd probably throw 99 in there, though, too, for hockey. Pretty close. Just,
yeah.
It's hard because I can't think of another really number 23 in another sport, though.
No, that's why it kind of depends on the sport.
But I think that's also kind of tells you how iconic it is if you can't really think of another player from another sport off the tip of your tongue, and maybe unless you're a diehard fan of that guy wore 23 in football.
Well, for me, I can't even think of a ton of players besides Jordan and LeBron that wore 23.
The only other one I could think of was Jair.
Yeah.
for Green Bay. It was 23 just right off the top of my head. I'm sure if I looked it up, I'd be like, oh, crap, I forgot that guy wore it. Even baseball. What's the most iconic player to wear 23 in baseball? Let me look it up once. Best player in baseball to wear 23. Sandberg from the Cubs. Nelson Cruz, Kyle Tucker, Don Mattingly. Okay. What about football?
Marshawn Lynch.
Devin Hester did. Weird couple Chicago people now. David Beckham wore 23 for Real Madrid and LA Galaxy as a nod to Michael Jordan. There you have it.
Yeah.
So, Christian McCaffrey, 23. Yeah, 23 is the most iconic number in sports. There's no question about it. And isn't it funny that it's still, we think of it because of Jordan. It's not LeBron, even though that says Michael and LeBron. It's Jordan. And the thing is, we know why LeBron had to wear 6 when he went to Miami, right? Do you know why?
I don't.
Pat Riley with Miami retired 23 because of Jordan. So that's how the 6 thing kind of started. And that goes back to my thing. I'm like, I don't know if I was blessed with great athletic skills and I was coming into a league and I was already being crowned as, one of the best players of all time, which LeBron was. I remember watching his high school game on ESPN. I'd want to make my own number. I want to make my own number great. But can you click on that, the best to wear 23, who you got on that Facebook one? It's right to the right there.
Oh, yeah.
The last one there. Is that just a Facebook? Oh, it's okay. Yeah. MJ. Mm-hmm. I love the one comment. This is a rage bait question. Stop, get help. Yeah. All right. I do wonder if Ken Griffey Jr., the 24 that Griffey Jr. wore, if he would have not gotten hurt, continued to wear that, just from because he was kind of, 90s too, maybe similar in pop culture, sports culture too, if that would have caught on more with Griffey for 24. Because then you can go, really? 24, if you want to break it down, Kobe at the back end. Because Griffey wore 24. Now I'm self-doubting for the Mariners. Right? He wore 24. Yeah, 24. Okay. Jeff Gordon, if you want to go NASCAR. Oh, look at that list. See, that's not even a good list. There's names on there for 2-3, but yeah, no, come on. Barry Bonds wore 24, I think. So maybe, yeah, all right. So, anywho, continue to send us some of your Takeover Thursday topics if you want to chime in here. So, we got some Stanley Cup playoff hockey. Got the Wild in action. It's a big night for our friends just across the border here. You've got hockey, and then they got to hurry up and get over and watch some Timberwolves because puck drops. Is it 6:30 tonight for the Wild and Stars? And I think it's an 8:30 tip time for the T-Wolves in that. But you being our resident Wild fan, are they going to get it done tonight? You think they can get it done tonight? So
I don't. I think this goes 7. At the beginning of the series, I picked the Wild to win in 7. I still think the Wild win in 7.
Okay.
They've proven they can win in Dallas, so I'm not concerned at all. This series has been so fun to watch. It's a shame it has to end in round 1. But it's been fun. So.
Has there been any surprises for you so far in these Stanley Cup playoffs? Maybe how a team's been performing or lack of performance?
The Ducks going up 3-1 on the Oilers definitely surprised me. I didn't think they were quite ready to contend. They're good, they're young, but I didn't think they were ready. And then the Flyers, I mean, they almost swept the Penguins. Again, they're a young team. Didn't know if they were quite ready to contend. They were able to finish them off last night. But other than that, it's been a lot of teams. It's been a lot of good series. I mean, Golden Knights and Mammoth, that's a 3-2. Canadiens Lightning's a 3-2. Wild Stars is a 3-2. So we're getting a lot of good series. But like the Avalanche winning in 4 and the Hurricanes winning in 4 is just chalk.
Yeah. Is Utah, you mentioned the Mammoth there too, just how well they're kind of, I know they're down 3-2, but the fact that they're still in the series, is that still kind of surprising?
Yeah, I think a lot of the world is figuring out who Utah Mammoth are. So it's been cool to see guys like Logan Cooley stepping up and Dylan Gunther stepping up. So again, that series isn't over. I mean, the Mammoth have played well. They came back. They were down in this double overtime game. They were down 3-0, came back, forced overtime, ended up losing. But I mean, all these teams can pull off upsets. It's one thing about hockey is if your goaltender gets hot, it's hard to beat you. So it's going to be fun to watch the rest of these series.
Yeah, Stanley Cup playoff hockey is one of the best things. Even if you're not a normal hockey fan, where you're like a diehard hockey fan in the regular season, I feel like everybody kind of comes together when it's Stanley Cup playoff hockey.
I mean, even the Sabres. I mean. Yeah. That fan base hasn't been in the playoffs in so long, and every game there is electric. So.
I was going to say, if they win this thing now, I feel like there's going to be a lot of, Bills Mafia maybe be coming out and with Buffalo Sabres and such. And I don't know if they do the whole folding table, breaking it down and whatever the heck the Bills now do with their tailgate parties and such. But and then on the flip side, we've got the NBA playoffs continuing tonight, where the Timberwolves looking to advance. They're going to have to do it, obviously, without Anthony Edwards and Luka Doncic, Dante DiVincenzo. But this is kind of, these two teams, you can tell there's the rivalry between them, and that's what makes this series kind of fun too. Because I go into it thinking, okay, who's going to cause a little bit of drama now? Is it going to be the Joker again? This little tiff back and forth between the two. So, but we'll see. I even without Anthony Edwards, I think the T-Wolves can do it. It'll be tougher. You'd rather have Anthony Edwards, but being at home, I think if the Timberwolves were going to advance, they got to win tonight.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Tonight's got to be the night. Without two of your star players, tonight's got to be the night. At home, feed off the energy. Yeah.
Yep, tonight. So, come on, Orlando. I know they're tomorrow, but I still have a soft spot in my heart for the match. I just hope the Tracy McGrady curse doesn't come back. When he famously said, when Orlando has an 8 seed, we're up 3-1 against the Pistons in the playoffs. It feels good to be in the second round, and then the Pistons won the next 3. So let's hope the Tracy McGrady curse does not come back to bite us in the butt. So, all right, let's take a quick break. Plenty more to get to here this morning. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes. Big day on Saturday going on at the VFW Post 305. Come out this Saturday at 3 p.m. for meat raffle to help raise funds to support the American Legion baseball team. So who doesn't love a good meat raffle in the great state of Wisconsin? Again, that's happening at 3 p.m. And then right after that, 4 p.m., you've got the Derby party, so please come watch the race with the VFW Post at 305. They'll be featuring food and drink specials, along with fabulous prizes for the top 3 Derby hats. Hats are optional, but a busy Saturday coming up this Saturday at the VFW Post 305. And again, that meat raffle starts at 3 p.m. to help support American Legion baseball. It is a little bit enough is enough. Or it is enough Thursday. Is it fair to say for intern Carter, you're enough is enough with LeBron just talking
Yes.
at this point?
Yes.
Say enough is enough with it. Is it enough is enough with the whole LeBron, Jordan debates sort of thing? I mean, the beauty thing in this, though, too, is it may annoy a lot of people that it still gets talked about in that. We don't really know what the true answer is. That's the beauty thing in sports, right? It's that we can have these debates and we can go and we can look at numbers, we can look at championships, we can look at stats, we can look at this, we can look at that, and everybody's got an opinion. And the fact is we really don't know what the true answer is, right?
Yeah.
So I still go Michael. My kid, unfortunately, goes LeBron, but maybe he'll grow up and figure it out after that. So, but still can't get him to just come to the other side. I saw the light, obviously. So I remember I was in 5th grade. My teacher, Mrs. Coyle, her and her husband were huge Bulls fans. He was Jordan. She was Dennis. But she had a Jordan and a Rodman poster up in her classroom. And this was at the height of like Penny. And I remember, they were like big card collectors too. And I remember I had a price guide that had Penny Hardaway on the cover. And it said the next Jordan. And I remember bringing it to class and like saying, see, this is why Jordan's not good. He's, Penton, that never worked out. But there's another what if of players getting hurt and such. So, but who is we had a Takeover Thursday question that from C-Bomb earlier in the first hour that said, what is your favorite sporting event that you have seen live and in person? And one message I forgot to get to a little bit earlier, and I want to get to here. It was from Mark, because somebody had mentioned seeing Reggie White's final game, and Mark had said earlier that I was also at Reggie White's last game at Lambeau. It was my oldest son, who is now a football coach's first Packer game on that snowy day. The game is not that memorable, but what happened after is Reggie going all the way around the stadium, high-fiving the fans in the front row. I'll never forget my son standing on our bleachers while that was going on with tears streaming down, saying to me, Dad, I don't want Reggie to retire. I said, I don't either, Nate. Thanks to the listener who brought up that game a few minutes ago, reminding me of that memory for me. And Reggie is definitely a player I wish I could have seen in person. Michael is another one. I've not seen Tiger Golf. Those are probably of the athletes that were around when I was alive and played while I was alive. I'm alive. Shouldn't say was. I'm alive, hopefully for a while, that I wish I could see. Is there an athlete that you wish you could see play in person?
I mean, Reggie White, Brett Favre is one of them. Mm-hmm. Just athletes I could see, period, even if it's on TV. In person, I don't know if it changes much. I'd still go old school for most of them.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan would be cool to watch. I'd love to see Kobe. But yeah, most of those guys.
Yeah, I know the whole debate when Kobe we knew it was the final year and, was kind of doing his farewell tour and people were debating because price, depending on where he was going, ticket prices were up and, the final chance to see Kobe and that. And people were like, well, why would you pay all that money when it's not the Kobe of his peak? And I think, if you haven't seen the athlete play and you have the income to do it, like, I wish I could have been able to go watch just to say, I think it's just for a lot of people to say, I got to see them play. I got to see Brady play in person one time, and all right, I got to see it. So I could say I saw it. I've seen Favre play a few times in person and Rodgers and those guys too. So it's just, I think it's more of it's a personal type of, feeling that I got to see these guys or gals or whoever play in person. It's more meaning of that. So.
In person, here's another one, the Legion of Boom.
Oh.
That defense was so fun to watch.
Except for when they were doing it against Green Bay.
Yes.
But, okay. Well, that kind of maybe goes to the other question from Surveyor, who's the athletes that you couldn't stand? And for a hot minute, it was Richard Sherman for a lot of people. Part of that Legion of Boom. That would be one. I'm trying to think of some other players. Dante Culpepper I was never a fan of. No. I didn't like the whole roll-in thing, but again, that's what you get from rival teams, right? They're supposed to annoy you. Rival teams and rival players are supposed to annoy you. So I think that's part of it. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to think if there was somebody or a team from I wouldn't consider a rival that I just did not like. Like Caleb Williams probably annoys a lot of people right now for the Packers, right?
That's what I was going to say.
Exactly, yeah, and that's what they're supposed to do. Ben Johnson right now probably really annoys a lot of people for Packers fans. But I'm trying to think of some other ones when I was younger that maybe I was just like, I can't stand them. There's probably a lot of them. I just can't think of it right now. So, but anyways, what's this text? Oh, this is I think a favorite memory from Luke. Favre at Lambeau takes a hit, goes out with a probable concussion, checks himself back in on what I remember as a 4th and 4, throws a TD and gets yanked for the rest of the game. I vaguely remember that. I'm trying to think, who was that against? But boy, times have changed now. He probably ain't getting out of that medical tent for that one. But I think, my games were my memorable ones. I'll throw this one on there, too. Taking my kid to his first Packers game was pretty cool. First regular season game, because it was actually McManus's first game, and it was the walk-off against the Texans. Mm-hmm. But I remember my first Packers game just being like an awe and gawking at everything and gawking at Favre. And that was actually when they were playing Tom Brady and the Patriots, too. So I didn't go to my first game until I was in college for Packers. But, yeah, I think your first games are always kind of your favorite ones on there, too. Like, I remember my first Brewers game was actually at the Metrodome. I had won tickets because I was at a baseball camp, summer camp, and I had won tickets. So I ended up going there, and I remember getting there early and watching BP, and the guy pitching BP was in an old school Brewers uniform. It was Robin Yount pitching BP.
Wow.
And then there was a guy, because I was standing above the dugout with the group we were with, because they were trying to get autographs, and I didn't really comprehend that yet. That's what you're supposed to do. And there was a guy to his back in just nice suit and all that, and people were trying to get his attention. He finally turned around and walked under the dugout. It was Euchre. So got to see that, walk right under. So I remember a lot that day and thinking it probably was the worst, but for whatever reason, it's in my mind as a probably 9-year-old at that time. Best hot dog I've ever had, because it was at a ball game. So,
yeah.
But, and I remember saying, I think I could easily look up how old I was, but that was the McGuire home run chase, because the Cardinals were coming for that series, and they were promoting that at the Metrodome. Come see Mark McGuire in the home run chase. So, yeah, I'd definitely throw that one in there too. Just, I think your first games are always going to be memorable that way. So we'll get you to that Packers one so you can mark it off on your bucket list there. So
I think my first Brewer game, Keston Hero was starting.
Oh.
Yeah, back when he played, and he hit a 3-run double and had a 2-run error, so.
Nice.
Yeah, both ways.
I remember the pitching matchups in my first Brewers one. It was Cal Eldred for the Brewers, Brad Radke, shout out Eau Claire for the Twins. Burnett's hit a home run. Marquise Grissom was our starting center fielder, which I was so excited about because he came from Cleveland, who was a good team, and that just never panned out. So, I remember a lot of those starters. Richie says, I know you'll disagree, but I couldn't stand Dion. Hey, I can't stand Dion half the time, but I was just, I was given that nickname. Did I ever tell you that?
No.
Oh, God. People are probably going to be annoyed. My third grade teacher gave me the nickname Dion after Deion Sanders.
Wow.
Okay.
Because you're an athlete?
No. All right. One of my highest athletic achievements ever. Third grade football recess. Our teacher, shout out Mr. Waller, would always play football with us. And he was always all-time quarterback. Makes sense. Mm-hmm. We were playing on a icy blacktop area this time, and he would assign teams. So our team was the 49ers, and he said I was Dion. Okay. I picked pick sixed him. He comes back in after recess, goes up to the marker board or chalkboard. We didn't have marker boards back then, chalkboard. Game MVP, Dan Casper. And then he made me sign I'm dead serious. I shouldn't say made me, but I started signing my homework Dion, but I spelled Dion wrong.
Oh, no.
Dion, but that it stuck. And I remember one time I put my normal name on there because I think I was mad or something. And he's like, "Who's this?" So I was like, "Yes."
Did you high step into the end zone? Or just...
I wish I did. But yeah, my greatest athletic achievement. So, but hey, Mr. Waller, I still talk to him once in a while and still bring that up. So, yeah. So I was kind of like, that's how I became a Dion fan. But I can see why he would annoy people.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. I can't disagree with you, Richie. I can't disagree. So, okay, let's take a quick break. We'll get back on track here a little bit. We got some more Brewers chats coming up here as we get set for Game 3 of this series with the Diamondbacks today. Brandon Woodruff is on the mound. Maybe more help, though, coming for the Brewers. We know Jackson Chourio and Andrew Vaughn are scheduled to be back with the team next week, but could we potentially see even more help for the Brewers coming here rather soon? We'll take a quick break and be back with more coming up after these quick words. The time is now to sign up for the 6th Annual Casper Classic being held at Lake Hallie Golf Course Friday, August 7th. We've got 3 tee times available, 7:30, so you can get a quick 9 in before work starts, 10 a.m., which is going by fast, signups are, and 1 p.m. So just head to WAYYradio.com, sportstalk1051.com, or 715store.com to get your 2-person team in. Big thanks to Myron Construction, VFW Post 305, Window World, Superior Auto Body for being some of our fine sponsors. Hy-Vee as well for being our sponsors for the event. If you are interested in being a sponsor or you want to donate maybe a raffle prize or such, reach out and we'll get you situated. Or if you want to get your 2-person team, make sure you go to that website and sign up right now. We've sold out every year. I know it's not till August, but secure your spot by signing up right now. So, baseball-wise, Brewers back at it today, 12:40 first pitch. We've got Brandon Woodruff on the mound, Michael Soraka, who's off to a 4-0 start here. Jackson Chourio, Andrew Vaughn got some playing time last night at Nashville. And we know they're coming up here probably next week, but is more help on the way. Cooper Pratt is really hitting the ball well as of late here for the Nashville Sounds. And given how the left side of the infield has been playing here for the Crew, is it time to also maybe call up one Cooper Pratt? And I know this was from Nashville Sounds last night when they posted it up on their Twitter account. Let me just kind of bring it up here for you. But Cooper Pratt, by the way, Jet Williams had a walk-off last night for the Nashville Sounds too, walk-off home run. So maybe we could get him over here too. That would be nice. But you look at that Nashville lineup from last night. If you were at that game to see Jefferson Kiro, Lara, who made an insane diving catch in the outfield, Jet Williams, Cooper Pratt, Andrew Vaughn. I mean, you were treated to some really talented players watching that game last night. But Pratt, another multi-hit game for him. He's hitting over 500 in his last 5 games. Should the Brewers bring up Cooper Pratt? And then, now?
Please.
Okay.
Please.
Intern Carter says, please. How about the rest of you? Thumbs up, 2 thumbs up, thumbs down, 2 thumbs down. Where are you at? He's going to be called up. I think we can all agree at some point this year he's going to be called up. Has to be. Do you strike while the iron's hot, or are you trying to be patient still to make sure that, okay, we don't want to rush him up too quick, but I mean, you got the contract and such. How do you handle this if you're Matt Arnold and Pat Murphy right now? At some point, you got to have him come up. He's got that contract, right? At some point, you do. It's kind of like Mizorowski was at some point. It's like he's done enough. You got to call him up, and is what they did last year. I know it's only last 5 games here, but at some point you got to call him up with that contract. And it's not like you're getting really good production from Joey Ortiz or Rengifo or Hamilton and such. And I know Hamilton's got the speed in that, but for crying out loud, we need more.
I mean, we have 2 infielders in Ortiz and Rengifo who are hitting under 200.
Yeah.
And that's not going to be acceptable for an MLB roster.
No.
So I think anything will help at this point.
Yeah. Look at this lineup from last night for the Nashville Sound. You ready for this? This was their batting lineup. Chirio, Vaughn, Jefferson Kiro, Brock Wilken, Lara, Williams, Pratt. That would have been a fun one to go to.
I mean, that could be your future MLB roster.
It could be. It could be. Yeah. I mean, I'll have to show you during the break this catch from Luis. It was pretty sweet in center field. I mean, yeah. He tracked that thing down. So, and then you got Jesus Mate, who is throwing 100-mile-an-hour heaters from the infield. If Pratt gets called up at some point, you got to call up Jesus Mate.
Yeah,
I think at AAA too. You might as well just have the trickle down effect.
Yeah,
and just have those guys getting moved up and such.
Yeah, Pena to AA.
Pena to AA. Even though if I want to go to a Timber Rattler game at some point this year, it'll mean that he's called up. But hey, that's okay. I'll accept that at this point. But no, I think if Pratt continues maybe in the next few games to continue to do this, you got to make the move. And, okay, do they get really drastic in this thing now and say, Hamilton, we're optioning you, maybe option another player and call up both Jet and Cooper and completely overhaul that side and say Jet's at third, Cooper's at short? Do you do a drastic move and say we're wiping it clean and calling both these guys up because we need some consistency here? We need better production here. We're going to try it with these 2.
So I don't think they move Hamilton down. Pat Murphy really likes him the way he plays. I think if you were to call up both Jet Williams and Cooper Pratt, you're giving up on Ortiz.
Mm-hmm.
That's the end of Joey Ortiz in a Brewers uniform. I think we need to get Rengifo somewhere else, whether it's trade or sending him down. I mean, 188 isn't good enough. Again, you have Greg Jones on this roster hitting 118. Yeah. So you'd have to call up an outfielder in that spot, but I
maybe Lara.
I mean, why isn't he up right now? But that's a different conversation. That'd be fun. As a Brewers fan, that'd be fun to watch both Jet and Pratt start their first games, but I don't see that happen.
I don't see it either. But I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Yeah.
I mean, you literally are getting nothing. When when it gets to that portion at the bottom of the lineup, I'm almost to the point saying, let's just call it 3 outs and go and switch. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I'm more surprised of them actually maybe getting a hit. Like, I'm trying to be, not to be such a Debbie Downer, but like even the other night when Joey Ortiz actually got a hit in the 2 RBIs, I was like, holy crap. He actually produced, got the runners across for crying out loud.
Yeah, well, just take this into consideration. The last 3 batters in the lineup last night were Blake Perkins, who's hitting 122, Joey Ortiz, who's hitting 197, and Greg Jones, who's hitting 118. You can't win a baseball game with those 3 at the bottom of your lineup.
Yeah.
That's just not possible.
The thing is, too, with Luis, he's only 5'7" and $169. He's taking a page from the infielders right now with his size.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mate's a top prospect. Luis Pena is their second. Jet Williams is their third-rated prospect. He's going to be called up at some point this year, too. He's going to be. Cooper Pratt's 4th. Fisher's in high A ball right now. He's their 5th. And Logan Henderson, Jefferson Kiro, For crying out loud, they've got their top 11 prospects. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are in AAA right now. Luke Adams, if you want to throw him on there, that's another AAA top 12. So, I mean, they've got 6 of their 12 prospects are in AAA.
And it's interesting to me why Lara isn't up, because you look at his stats, he's hitting 333 with an OPS of 968, and you have Blake Perkins on this roster who's hitting 122 with an OPS of 429. And it's not like you said, Lara made an incredible catch. I mean, it's not like he can't play defense. So I don't know if there's a disconnect there. I'm like, I don't understand.
I think part of it is the play of Garrett Mitchell. Now, I know Garrett Mitchell isn't necessarily lighting the world on fire. You know, I think what is he hitting at now? Is it down to it's down to 230. His RBIs are there. I think if you bring up Lara, you got to play him. He can't sit on the bench. And I think, you know, when you bring Jackson Chourio in, Chourio, Frelick, Lara's either going to be Lara. You probably put in center. So I think that's the decision that I think. Honestly, I'm not saying I agree with it. I think the reason he's not up right now is Garrett Mitchell. Like if Garrett Mitchell was hurt, or Garrett Mitchell was hitting in the 100s, and maybe wasn't hitting some clutch hits, which he has. I think we can acknowledge he has with his RBIs. Then I think he's up. I think the reason he is not up yet is because Garrett Mitchell, because you're going to bring him up, you have to play him every day.
Yeah. What about Jet Williams? He could play outfield.
He could.
But would you think they have to play him too every day?
Yep. I think if you call up Cooper, Jet, those guys, they have to play every day. It's like when they brought up Kiro for a hot minute, you have to play him.
Yeah.
Whether it's DH or catching, you got to play him. It's not going to do any good sitting on the bench for these guys.
Yeah, and that makes it even harder because with Chourio coming back, you have Frelick, Chourio, and Mitchell as your outfield, as your starters, right? So, but, I mean, for Lara, I mean, like, what else does he have to do?
And I think it's to the point if they do one of two things. If there's a long-term injury to one of those outfielders, whether it's Mitchell or Chourio, you know, or it's like a few months, then I think you see Lara come up because you know he's going to play every day then. Or if something really Mitchell just like plummets, you know. I think Frelick has a little bit more of a grace than Mitchell, to be honest with you.
Yep.
You know, I'm not saying it because he's the GOAT, but I think he's what else he brings to the table. And so, even like Mitchell, I think there's been times he's struggled in the outfield defensively. He's really good, but there's been a couple times where I'm just like, you know, poor maybe decisions on the route he has taken in that. But
and I think even more grace just because, I mean, Pat Murphy, I mean, he stated he didn't think Mitchell was going to make the roster opening day.
That's true, yeah.
So, yeah, he's going to get a little bit of leeway with how bad our outfield is right now, but Sal Frelick is a Gold Glover, so that helps him.
Yep, yeah. It's a small outfield, though, if you put Frelick and Lara and then maybe throw in Jackson in there, too. So,
but Lara has won several Gold Gloves in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
So it's not like his defense is bad.
And the dude's got 5 homers right now.
Yeah, he's leading. He's
5'7", he's got 5 home runs. That's just, yeah.
I mean, even Eddie's Leonard hitting 313, 5 home runs.
Yep.
Another left fielder.
What's the biggest issue for this Brewers team right now is offense, right? It's offense, and I know we're way. But here's the thing, too. What if Jackson comes back and Vaughn comes back and it's still issues with the offense because of the bottom of the order? Bring in Pratt and Jet Williams and see if it's different.
Start the whole AAA team.
Right? Yeah. All right, we got to take a quick break. Running a little behind here, but we'll be right back in just a couple minutes. Sometimes accidents happen, but getting your vehicle back to normal does not have to be stressful. And at Superior Auto Body, they specialize in getting your vehicle looking right again after dents, dings, or collisions. And the best part is that they handle the insurance process for you, working directly with your provider to make things simple and hassle-free. No runaround, no confusion, Just quality work and a team that's got your back every single step of the way. Get your vehicle back on the road with confidence. Superior Auto Body in Eau Claire, where the job gets done. Just a couple minutes left to the top of the hour here. So let's do some final calls. Final calls for your Enough's Are Enough or your Takeover Thursday topics. If you got a topic that you would like to throw out there for the rest of the listeners, if we like it, we select it. We'll throw it out there for everybody to chime in. So you can hit us up on that texting line or join in on the Section 105 chat room. Brewers again back at it today, 12:40. You can listen to the game, 105.1 FM, 790 AM. Pre-game coverage will begin at 12:05. So, and then, of course, if you're a hockey fan, maybe a Wild fan, big game tonight. Or if you're a Timberwolves fan, also a big game tonight, too, for our friends just across the border. So be a busy night, I would imagine, in Minnesota with those two games. So curious if anybody's going to try to go to both. I'm sure there's got to be some people that have tickets to both, and they're going to go back and forth and hop on that. So, but I'd like to go back to another. We were talking a little bit earlier. Somebody brought up about favorite games or favorite live games. I had a blast going to a Wild game a couple of years ago against the Kraken. I'd go again in a heartbeat. Mm-hmm. But, my buddy Josh just hasn't invited me back. So, that's what I get from a guy like that. So, but choose your friends wisely, intern Carter. Choose your friends wisely. So, okay, just a minute left. Shot clock's going to cut us off. So, continue to hit us up with those topics. We'll maybe get back to a little football talk coming up in the next hour here too, as we, now we get set for rookie camp tomorrow. All the rookies will be practicing for the Packers. The 6 draft picks and all those undrafted kids and the tryout kids and that stuff. So you'll get your first glimpse all across social media with those rookies. So. But that'll begin tomorrow and then also on Saturday. So maybe we'll throw a little bit more football talk coming up in the final hour of the program. All right, quick break. We got some news updates, and then we're ready to kick off the fourth quarter, the final hour on this Thursday morning, on the final Thursday of the month of April. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back in just a couple short minutes.